we're back with another episode of the Myler Flex podcast. We are episode number 6, and I am super stoked about this episode. I'll explain a little more later about that. Our normal segments that we have, I'm also going to cut a little short one because our guest has to leave right at 2. And then also I really want to talk about the subject that we have at hand. So let's just dive on into it. Kind of give you guys a brief summary of the week like I always give you. I was back on it. I told you guys this week I'm going to hit cardio and weights, so knock both of them out. Been doing that strongly. Let's see what else. Oh, we're still working on the YouTube channel. We've got some edits to do for the intros and the outros, but soon the last podcast will be posted up there, so that way you guys can see that one. And then I believe that Alicia Cash, her podcast as well. We're playing with the volume right now for the actual video that's going on YouTube. So I've moved the microphone in the middle, so hopefully it'll sound better for the third video that will come out. So give it possibly another week, and we'll definitely get a lot more of those up and going. And normally I give you guys an update of the Dallas weather. Today isn't too bad. Yesterday really sucked. It was rainy, it was nasty. This morning it was really bad. But right now I think it's like maybe 60, sunny, so I can deal with that for right now. But with that, I also started my dang allergies, so I probably sound like crap right now. I'm sorry about that. Got a little drainage going on, but we'll push through and make this happen for you. So I want to go ahead and let's start with What the Fitness right now.
What the Fitness?
Okay, so there's some pretty big stories going on. First, I'll talk about the local Dallas one here. There's a trainer. She goes by Brittany Dawn. She's pretty big on Instagram, has a lot of followers on YouTube, and she has gotten herself in quite a bit of a pickle. She sells these online nutrition plans, these online training plans, and supposedly 5,000 to 6,000 people have been paying her anywhere between $50 to $300 for these plans, and she hasn't fulfilled them, like over months and months and months, and people contacting her saying, hey, when are you going to send me a workout? When are you going to send me the nutrition plan? And some of her replies to some of the people have been, oh, you're doing great, keep up the work, that type of deal. And her fans have noticed she's got this Range Rover and all this good stuff, but they're still not getting the plans. So people have asked for refunds. And there's, I don't know who, but some people, digged in a little bit more about, okay, who is this Brittany? And they found out that she wasn't even certified as a trainer. And if she is, she hasn't come out and said it and shown that she is. She did a video last, I think, Thursday, explaining why she hasn't sent these plans and all these nutritional plans and stuff. And I was thinking about it, the way that she was explaining it is kind of like I'm going to call it like the Groupon theory. So with Groupon, if your business isn't ready to handle a massive amount of load with customers coming in, it can make your business look bad. And that was some of the reason why, like myself as a gym owner, I didn't go on Groupon, because I knew all of a sudden if I would have had 200 people that want to start training with me, there's no way in the world I could have trained those people. And so in her video and what she's talking about, that's kind of what she's saying. She's saying that it was pretty much overnight. I don't know why or how she got so famous, but it was pretty much overnight. She ended up becoming an internet sensation through fitness, and she started selling all these plans, and she kind of got overwhelmed. She couldn't fulfill everything. So that's what she's saying, that she couldn't handle the load, but she didn't refund the people either. So there's lots of lawsuits out there pending on her right now, and I don't know. I mean, I hope the best for her, but right now that doesn't look too good on her end, and that's a local Dallas thing going on. I will say, don't let this stain your image of online trainers or nutritional plans or anything like that. Excuse me. Because I do that. I have my own app. I sell online personal training. I do nutrition for people, and I'm legit. I talk to you. We do video conferencing, everything. So, but I'm not going to take 5,000, 6,000 people either. I only work with a maximum of 20 people. And so probably if they're not sending you just like these prefab workouts, and they're saying, hey, I'm really going to send you a true custom workout and talk to you, make sure that there's somebody that, you know, has at least a cap, you know, because it's a lot of work. If you're really going to take on a client, no matter if it's in person or over the internet online, it's a lot of work. So to actually work with a client and make sure that they're doing everything that they need to do. So that's part of What Fitness with Brittany Dawn. Another one, this kind of is going to go into part of our topic, was Oprah Winfrey. She's part of Weight Watchers. And right now, Weight Watchers kind of took a dip in their stock because of the keto diet. There's so many people going keto that Weight Watchers and their plan doesn't necessarily support how Weight Watchers meal planning and all that works. I know that they kind of changed a few things up and now allow you to have, I think, more vegetables so you don't take so many points, but their stock is really kind of taking a hit because so many people are going keto right now. There's your little hint. Yeah, we're going to be talking keto today. So that's something I want to kind of let you guys know, that I'm proud of the people that are going keto. That's good. So keep that up. Kohl's and Planet Fitness are partnering up together. And actually, Kohl's did partner up with Weight Watchers a few years ago as well. In their active section of all their clothes and everything, you'll notice sometimes they have ads for Weight Watchers. But now they partnered up with Planet Fitness, and right now there's going to be 10 locations where they're going to scale down the stores, and Planet Fitnesses are going in there, and they're going to open up a gym. So I don't know exactly where these are at. I think some of them they said in Chicago. I can't remember the other locations, but don't be surprised if all of a sudden you see a Planet Fitness pop up somewhere next to your Kohl's. The reason why is because those two decided to partner up, and that's what's happening. So that's pretty much in a nutshell of all the What the Fitness I got for you this week. Like I said, I want to make it really quick because I want to get into this interview. So let me get to a quick commercial for you guys.
Do you like fresh pressed juices? If so, check out Raw Roots Juices, spelled R-A Roots. They are located in Dallas, Texas, but can ship nationwide. So if you're looking for juice cleanse or a daily juice, use this code MylerFlex for 15% off.
All right, and leading into this now,
Beat of the week.
this week's beat of the week is Boom by Gucci Man, 7, and Testito. Enjoy. All right, that was this week's beat of the week, Boom by Gucci Man, 7, and Testito. All right, I'm super excited. Now is the time. I'm stoked. This is our first podcast to talk about keto, and if you guys really have been following me for years, you'll know that I started a page years ago about keto. I'm a keto person. I highly, highly recommend it for all levels of training. And so our guest this week, she is a WBFF bikini model. She's a trainer. She is all keto, everything. And her name is Ciara Martinez. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm super excited that you're here. I don't know if everybody heard all that at the beginning, but you're a WBFF Bikini Model, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to dig deeper into that later on. A personal trainer, a mom, and then you're all keto.
Correct.
And what's the name that you go by on Instagram?
Keto Goddess Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keto Goddess Mama.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, let's learn more about you, and we're going to go through a timeline. So, give us the history of you before fitness, before keto, where you grew up, all that good stuff.
All right. I'm originally born and raised in Georgia. I cheered and played soccer in high school, so I was always kind of active, but never really had a physique that I wanted. Going on through like my 20s, I would hop in and out of gyms, be in for 2 or 3 months, could never really figure anything out. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, had her within another year and a half, had my son, got pregnant and had my son, and was diagnosed with postpartum.
Okay.
And fed everything with food. All my emotions were with food, basically. Yeah. So I hit a really low point, and topped the scales at a whopping 225 pounds.
Yeah. So when you're at now you're at 225. Mm-hmm. What made you say, all right, it's time to go to the gym?
Well, I was heavily medicated. I was on 4 medications from a psychiatrist that made me not want to be a mom, basically. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to feed the kids. It was horrible. I wanted to lay in the bed all day long, and I was like I can't do this. It's either the life is not going to exist anymore, or I'm going to get up and change and set the example. So I was like, what happened, rock bottom.
and that was after your second one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So now you're like, okay, it's time to make a change. Mm-hmm. You decide. Did you go to the gym just by yourself, and you're like, hey, I'm just going to start working out, or did you hire a trainer immediately?
No. In the beginning, I just was getting in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went by myself. I started with group fitness classes.
Okay.
That kind of held me accountable. It's like I got to be here at 5 o'clock, and then you kind of start noticing the same people in the classes. So they're like, "Hey, are you coming on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever?" So it kind of promoted me to come more.
Yeah, and so if I read correctly, I was kind of, I try to do my research on all my guests. You did end up hiring a trainer, though, right?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Is he the one that showed you or told you about keto?
No.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I found out about keto through a woman that I previously worked with. She had quick results, which drew me to it.
Yeah.
Which is what I think that draws a lot of people. And I was like, I gotta give this a try.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, at what point was it the results from keto, or was it just the results of the beginning from working out that made you say, hey, I might want to compete someday, or what was your thoughts there?
Well, I started everything at the same time. I get asked that a lot. Did you start the diet first, or did you start the gym first? I just dove in and started everything. At this point, there was nothing in my brain that said I wanted to compete. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
That came further down the line.
Yeah. Okay. So the lady that had lots of results, you said that was a whole coworker of yours. Was she all in on keto, or was she just kind of, just slowly, just keeping carbs down and just eating a little bit more fat than normal, or was she like a diehard keto?
Kind of like a lazy keto.
Lazy keto.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Eating a lot of cheese and bacon.
Yeah. So when you heard about that, though, that's one thing I really want to ask you, because when I tell clients, some clients, they're like, what? Hold up, you're going to eat fat, you're going to eat this and that and the other. And so when you heard that, what were your first thoughts?
Well, initially it's exciting because it's everything you've been told you're not supposed to eat your entire life. I get to eat butter. What is this? I've not, eaten butter and as long as I can remember. So then you get into it And it really is like a mind warp. The best way I know how to explain it is because you're, from my grandmother to my mother who dieted my whole life, it's always low fat ranch, low fat sour cream, fruits and veggies, and lean meat. You know, that's how we lose weight. So this is like everything I've been taught my whole life. Now I have to flip and reverse it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're listening and you don't know anything about keto, and you're like, what in the world? What are they talking about? The macros and the type of foods that you eat on keto, the macros can range anywhere between 60 to 75% of what you eat every day is fat. Now, there are two worlds, and we will tap into this, but there are two different worlds of keto as far as the type of fats that you eat. And then you eat anywhere between 20 to 30% of protein. And again, there's another little world on what type of proteins that you eat. And then usually it's about 5% of what you eat are carbs. And again, there's another world that splits between the different type of carbs that you have, more vegetables and fruits. So we're going to dig into that a little bit later. But so that way, you know, if you've never heard of keto, right now it's like the biggest, most popular diet out there. But that's your macros, about 70% fat, 30% protein, the rest are just really, really low carbs. I give my clients a flexible one of 50 net carbs a day, but eventually we drop it down to 25 net carbs, and normally they find themselves not even hitting that once they've truly found out how to eat that way and found all the substitutions. So for yourself, when you're at 225, I think I posted some pictures of you on my page, and then you've got them on your page of where you were then and where you are now. When you started keto and you're enjoying it, did you like really research like different types of foods that you like could replace and how you could substitute? Like for instance, I love pho. I love pho, but you can't have all those noodles.
Right.
So what my wife and I do, we order pho to go, but we tell them don't put the noodles in there. And we go to Kroger and we buy those bags of shiitake noodles. Those are only 2 carbs. Only 2 carbs. And so we cook those things up, dump them in the pho. Now I get to have my pho. Got the sodium, got the protein, got veggies, and you know, I love it. So at first were you just like, okay, I'm just going to eat some cheese here and, you know, some chicken here, or did you really start researching different recipes?
Honestly, in the beginning, I did track. I was a lot heavier on the dairy and making like big casseroles and like just very like cheese heavy, which I think a lot of people are in the beginning, heavy cream, heavy dishes. But I would prep. I would always prep. I would get everything weighed and portioned out and separated for my meals for the day. As I transitioned, slowly the casseroles start to get pushed back. I would feel extremely full, almost like my body didn't want anything to do with the dairy. And now I do still limit dairy. And then I started experimenting with like what you're talking about. I make all kind of delicious soups, and it's a very clean keto now, which confuses a lot of people because they think it's all cheese, bacon, and butter, but it's not. I get my fats from avocado, fatty meats, avocado oil, eggs, all pretty much clean sources.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so people understand. I think you're probably on the same page as I am. There's dirty keto out there, and then there's clean keto, and I even do another one where I have a version what I call green keto. And when I say that people, let's just talk about fats. There's some people out there, and for my instance, back in 2012, 13, when that's the first time I ever really heard the word outside of science class, ketosis. And the person that was saying it to me is saying, oh, I'm in ketosis, I'm burning body fats, I'm sitting here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm watching what they're eating and not really seeing much of a change. And I just was like, I don't know about this. I mean, you're eating, you know, bacon and eggs and just tons of cheese on almost every meal that you have, more almost Atkins-like. And I just really wasn't on board with keto. And then it wasn't until 2016 when LeBron James actually went back to Cleveland. And him and his buddy Carmelo Anthony decided to get on a diet with their nutritionist and their trainer. And I got the article of what they did, and it was a keto/paleo meal plan, which now, after studying it for so many years, I totally understand how they and why they mix the two. I mean, when you're at that level of an elite athlete, it's fine if you have a little bit of sweet potatoes or something like that as your carb. But as just a regular person and you're going keto, you don't want to do that. But when I saw that and I saw the plan and I saw what they were eating, it wasn't bacon with every damn meal and stuff like that. I was like, okay, now this seems more legit. And then from that point, it just grew, and I started studying more from 2014 all the way on up. So let's just break down with fats. What are more of the fats that you eat now that you've gone through it and you're like, hey, here's how I'm going to live my keto life?
So it's actually really simple.
Okay.
I eat a lot of avocado.
Yep.
It's got good fat content, dietary fiber. I eat a ton of eggs. I love them. They are a perfect fat and protein ratio. I aim for fatty meats generally unless I am in a cutting phase.
Yeah.
Then I'll switch to leaner meats. And I cook everything in avocado oil, which a lot of people don't even track, but you've got to track it because you're eating it.
Yeah.
Coconut oil or butter. And
Do you use MCT oil?
I do use MCT oil in my coffee. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because there's a difference between coconut oil and MCT oil. That's a medium chain triglyceride, so you're getting more of the purest part of that amino acid that you're not getting with coconut oil.
Right.
Okay, so those are more of your fats. You do limit dairy though, right?
Yes, I still have it, but not.
And I totally agree with that. There's some people out there that can have dairy and their body doesn't affect them at all. But I would say most people, when they're putting cheese on everything and heavy cream with everything, and you know, even though you can have butter, Irish Gold butter with keto, still don't want to have with every single thing that you eat. So yeah, it does make a difference. So definitely keep the dairies down. Now, as far as your proteins go, I know that you said that when you're not in your cutting phase, that's when you're doing leaner or fattier fats. But when you're in your cutting phase, leaner or the meats. What meats though? What type of proteins do you eat? Majority.
Okay, I love chickens. They're so delicious.
Okay.
And people don't even think about this. Like a pork roast, for instance, is like, I want to say 25 grams of protein, but it's like 30 grams of fat. They're like, they see a plate of that and green beans. They're like, where's your fat? I'm like, are you kidding me? This piece of meat is full of it. So I do a lot of pork roast, butt or shoulder roast. I love salmon. It's a nice fatty fish. I wish more fish were a little bit more fatty because I love seafood, and those are like my two go-tos. I don't do like a lot of tenderloins or anything like that. I love a good ribeye.
Yeah.
But we can't have that every single day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I feel it the exact same way. What I have my clients on is when I say, okay, let's take a screenshot of all the protein that you had throughout the week. I say 85% needs to be the good, cleaner proteins, chicken, turkey, fish, and like a zero carb protein shake that's sweetened with like stevia or something if I need to sweeten it. The last 15% is where, okay, I'll give you some of that room to have a steak, have, if you want bacon with your eggs, have some bacon, you know, ground beef if you're trying to do like some tacos or something like that. Yeah, and so, but again, I still try to keep it lower on those red meats. And that's, you know, the world of dirty keto. They're like, you know, brisket with everything and, you know, ribs and steak all the time. And, you know, let's throw that butter on top of it and let's throw cheese on top of it. And that's a dirty keto, and it does work for some people. My personal opinion, and actually seeing other people do it and reading their blood work, you can't do that long term. And I think, and you know, comment on this if you agree or don't, but I think that's where like this new report that came out about keto last week, and they're saying, oh, it's so bad for you. I'll put anything down that 90% of those people that were saying that they're doing keto were eating like that, eating all the red meats and the horrible fats, and so that's part of the reason why their cholesterol is just off the charts.
I would probably agree.
Yeah,
on that for sure.
I totally would agree with that. One little fun fact: if you are the person that's like, hey, I don't want to do this because I started keto, and even if you're doing like my version, like a green keto, where it's like really, really healthy, sorry, it will, if you go test your cholesterol at the beginning, it's going to go high. Your cholesterol level is going to go high at the beginning. The reason why is because this is the first time that your body has finally said, okay, we can let loose of those fatty tissues, and they're running through your blood. The fat is actually running through your blood, trying to get out of your body. It's trying to get burnt, being used. Before, it never was. So when you were eating all those carbs and your insulin level was pushed up and glucose was pushed up, that just probably shut the door on the all those fats to be able to be released into your bloodstream, to be able to be used up. And so I don't like it when people go and test their cholesterol within the first month and a half, and then say, oh, well, my cholesterol is just totally horrible, I need to get off keto. And that's the honest truth. It's because more fat is in your bloodstream at the beginning. It's being used, it uses energy. Eventually, that's going to go away as soon as you start cutting body fat down. Would you agree with that?
Oh yes, for sure.
Yeah. So let's see, where are you on this? So we covered fats, covered proteins. What about carbs? As far as what carbs would you allow?
I personally get almost every carb I have from vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't always like that. They came from cheese and stuff like that in the beginning. But as an athlete, my ratio is a little bit higher. So I'm at about 10%.
Okay.
Which is generally 40 to 50 net carbs.
Yeah.
So when I cut, again, like you were talking about earlier, we go back down to like 20.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't even really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand. And I'm glad. I've never heard her side of how she believes in keto or anything like that until right now live. So I'm happy that we're both on the same page, because there are other people out there that are totally, any carb is bad.
The devil.
Yeah, it's the devil. So, I mean, I tell my clients, eat all the green leafies, spinach, asparagus, kale, broccoli, and then obviously to substitute things out, you'll use a lot of cauliflower. Cauliflower for like rice, or if you want to do the pizza, which I think you should do fathead pizza. That's way better. But yeah, I'm totally a veggie person. And I don't even really count those.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Now, in your situation, and you're probably, when you're going into your competitions and stuff, it's a lot more strict, and probably every carb will count up to those 20 that you said when you're cutting. But for the everyday person that's just trying to lose some weight and be healthier, don't cut. There's no reason to count your carbs with the vegetables.
Yeah.
What about fruit?
I almost completely eliminate fruit, except for berries on occasion and portions.
Yeah. I was laughing yesterday. So I have this client, she's been training for almost a month, and I think she's only down like 4 or 5 pounds or something.
That's still good.
It's still good. It's still good. But though, when a person usually starts keto, they drop 8-10 pounds pretty fast, and it's all water weight, because when you start dropping your carbs, you stop holding on to sodium, you start losing that, your electrolytes, your magnesium, your potassium, and so a lot of that you lose is water weight. So if you lost 10 pounds, you probably lost 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of fat, actually. But she really hasn't even gotten really into that. And I'm like, okay, I got this other person that's, lost a lot, 33 pounds in a couple months, and I was like, there's just something. I just have this gut feeling, because she doesn't need a whole lot to lose, right? There's just something. Yeah. So I said, okay, I've been letting you kind of free reign. You've been telling me that, hey, Cody, I've been good. I'm eating all the keto foods and everything. I said, okay, tell me exactly what you're doing. And she says, well, I don't like avocados, so I make a smoothie. And I make all my clients do at least a 12-hour fast every day, a minimum of that. I'll explain more about the benefits of that in a minute, but I make them do that. So she says, yeah, I'm doing that. But she makes a smoothie that has avocado, almond milk, and then she was putting 6 strawberries in there, a cup of blueberries.
We're already over.
Oh yeah. And so
sugar.
my jaw was to the floor. I'm like, whoa. And she goes, well, you said I could have berries, and I was like, well, yeah, berries, but very, very limited. I mean, you got to be sparing with those. So I pull it up and just 2 strawberries with 6 net carbs, and 2.5 handfuls of blueberries, 12 net carbs. And so, I'm like counting the whole thing up, and I'm like, already just where you are with that's almost 20 net carbs just in that drink. Then we get to lunch. She says, well, I have my tuna fish, and I dip it with pita chips. And I was like, when did I ever say you could have pita chips? I never said you could do that. So now we're, almost 40, 50 net carbs into it. So that totally made sense on why she's been losing at a slower rate. Because I know the activity that she's been putting in, and it just wasn't matching. And so, yeah, you got to be careful with the fruit. I know we love it, but
Sugar is sugar.
yeah,
Period.
it is.
Carbs are sugar.
Yep.
It gets turned into sugar in your body. So.
Absolutely. So at what point was it that once you started keto and you were training, did you think you could go farther with it? And, you felt that, yeah, I could go be a competitor, be a WBFF competitor, and then become a trainer?
Well, I will say a little over a year in is when the competition bug kind of got me. Because I was really, I worked in the gym, I was training in the gym an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. I had hit my goal of weight loss, and I started to see my body transform in a way that I had never seen in my whole life.
Yeah.
And this was, amazing to me. And I was like, what else can I do with this? So I was like, okay, I'm going to compete. I didn't know a timeline at that point yet or anything, but that's when it came in my head.
Which came first, competing or becoming a trainer?
Oh, trainer.
Trainer, okay.
Yeah.
So, explain how did you become a trainer, what certifications, all that good stuff.
Okay, so in Florida, I worked in UFIT, and our director, his name is Silvio, he is still my coach. So
Okay.
he still writes all my programs.
Okay.
He is amazing. We fight about keto sometimes.
Yeah.
But I've convinced him a little bit, I think.
What's he arguing with about?
No, it was just in the beginning. He's like, you can't lift heavy without carbs. And,
I love that argument.
We love to get in that argument a lot.
Yeah.
But he's come over a little bit, so that's good. But yeah, he was my trainer and taught me a ton in the gym, just under him, shadowing, learning proper form and movements, and basically that's how I wanted to become a trainer.
Yeah.
Just from learning from him. So I decided to get my certification. I got an action certification, and then mentored with him in the gym for about a year. I worked in the gym for over 2 years, but was under him for about a year.
Okay, all right. And then the WBFF, explain that. What is that organization, and how is that different than maybe the IBFF and all that stuff?
So what drew me to this organization is that they are all things, think of like the Victoria's Secret fashion show of fitness shows, basically. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're in FBB or NPC, that's the other one, I think they're posing as like you have to look it out like this, or it's very routine, whereas this is more modeling, and it's very free. and your movements. It's very much about stage presence. It's very extra, which is like my middle name. I love like the glitz and glamour of it, and it's a great organization to be a part of.
It's almost a well, I don't want to say that. That's a bad way of saying it, but an extreme pageant in a way.
Kind of like a fitness pageant.
Yeah, it's more like that. I was getting ready to say it's like a pageant on steroids, but no, we don't want to say that. So how many of those shows have you done?
I've done 2 so far.
Yeah, you plan on doing more of them?
I want to do another one this summer.
Okay, all right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that the keto diet has led you to become a trainer and then end up competing. I mean, that's huge. Explain for the people out there. You know, if you have a chance, go on our Instagram right now. Check her out, Keto Goddess Mama. See who I'm actually talking to right now, and look at her before and afters. And I know a lot of people are going to say, okay, you know, what is it like? Like, what's your everyday look like? You know, how when you wake up in the morning, what do you have to do? What do you have to take care of? What are your responsibilities to the time that you go to sleep?
So I have 2 little ones. Sebastian, he's 3, and Cecilia, she is 5. So they are still in quite the handful stage.
Oh yeah.
At this point. So I do work at their school part-time. So I get up and go there with them to school 3 days a week. And then we go to the gym afterwards. I train for about 2.5 hours, and then we go home and do the evening routine, baths, dinner, all that good stuff. Now, on the other days, I'm usually running around training my clients or working with my online clients. I'm very hands-on with them, and they pretty much have access to me 24/7, so it is a lot of work like you were talking about with the online clients. And then I drop them off at school, go train, do that.
So what would you say to the mother out there that is probably working a 9 to 5, and they just heard you say, okay, 2.5 hours working out? No, I don't have that. I barely have 30 minutes.
Right.
What would you say to that?
Well, let me be very clear that I did not start at 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like I said, I started with the group fitness, and a lot of the excuses that I hear is that time. We can make time for anything. I bet you got time to go watch your Netflix. You know, I bet you have time to go take a bath or whatever you want to do. You can make time. You make time or you make excuses. You can take the kids. Almost every gym has childcare nowadays. You can take the kids to childcare. They're going to love it. Most of them love it. They're going to have fun. It's going to be great. You know, if you want it bad enough, you will make the time. In 30 minutes, you can get in a bomb workout if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you can really crush it in 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm a big I don't know, one of my biggest keys about fitness and health and life in general is everything has to be balanced, and your balance is going to be different than my balance. You can put 2.5 hours into a workout versus somebody else can only get that 30 minutes, but if it all works now, granted, will the 2.5 hours get you to the results faster? Yeah, it probably will. But the 30 minutes will. It'll get you maybe not the scale of 10 results that you're getting, but at least maybe an 8 as long as you're dedicated and you're staying true to the diet that you're on, and and you still have that balance. You still have family time. You still have your social life. You got time for your job. All that. So that's one of my biggest components that I really hammer into my clients is, if you can dedicate, an hour a day, 3 times a week, awesome, let's do it. Ultimately, I like to see people put about 8 hours in every week to working out. However you manage that 8 hours, that's awesome. But I think no matter what, there is a point to what you're saying about, if you want it bad enough, you're going to find the time to do it.
Right.
But even if you're still like, okay, there's really no time in there, but you got, if that's the situation, you still got to find that balance of, okay, just let me get 30 minutes in, let me at least do that.
Yeah, and a lot of it is up here, in your head in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, the first 3 months I was dragging myself in the gym by the hair. Every excuse I could come up with, I didn't feel good. Oh, the kid's sick, this, that. I mean, I was trying not to go, but you have to force yourself to go. It's not gonna be easy at first.
Yeah.
And you need to have a plan when you go into the gym. If you only have 30 minutes and you go walk slowly on the treadmill or play on your Instagram or whatever, then you're not maximizing your time there. So you need to go in there focused and with a plan.
Yeah. So exactly how long did it take for you to go from 225 to what I saw you posted? You're at 153.
Yeah, I bounce between that and 160 right now.
And you're 5'9".
Yes.
Okay. So about how long did it take that whole process?
So I hit my goal, which was like original goal was 165 after about a year, and then I kind of slowly went down a little bit after that. So I've been maintaining now at that.
Okay, so it took you a good year to drop that.
Right.
Okay.
But the body composition is completely changed from then.
Yeah, totally. As far as your workouts go, a lot of people ask pre-workout type stuff. Do you do any type of pre-workout?
I do not take like a pre-workout drink or anything like that. I have recently added in L-carnitine and CQ10 that I'm taking like in pill form before I train. I've noticed a little bit of difference in just the energy I feel, but nothing like, I've taken pre-workout before. Don't let me say I've never taken it, but it just makes me feel kind of guilty. And most of them don't have very clean ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. I make my own pre-workout pretty much. It's black coffee. I throw salt in there, L-carnitine, and I take creatine as well. Now I do both forms of it. I do both the monohydrate and I do HCI. The reason why normally if I wasn't a keto person, I would do HCI because that doesn't hold on to the water weight. But since you're on keto and you don't hold on to water, I want to kind of hold on to that. So I take the monohydrate and that holds a lot more water in under the muscle tissue. HCI, when it does hold water, it's above the muscle tissue underneath the skin. And so I mix about 2.5 grams of each one of those. Yeah.
I do take creatine. I forgot to mention that.
Well, I was going to ask you more into like, what supplements are you taking?
So I was super against creatine for the longest time. It took my coach a long time to talk me into it.
Almost every woman I've ever come across.
I don't know why. I thought it was like a steroid or something. I thought it was going to make me big, hold water.
Yeah.
And when you've lost all this weight, that's like your biggest fear, right? Is to do anything that's going to make you bigger. But upon convincing after months, I started taking it. And we go in and out. I don't take it all the time. We cycle on and off of it. But I've noticed a great increase. Now, for your average person, I don't necessarily recommend it unless you are in just like trying to, if you're an athlete. That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. So I wouldn't recommend it to any of my clients right now.
Yeah, definitely. To kind of give you guys an idea of what creatine really does, even naive high schooler Cody back in the day, I kind of thought, oh man, if I take creatine, it's gonna get me big and bulky, and I'm gonna get swole. And really, that's not what it does. Now, do you see people when they take creatine, all of a sudden 3 months later, they're like, you can tell you've changed. Really, what that is, it's an energy source. Adrenaline triphosphate. That's all it is. And like say you have a circle and you got 500 little dots in there. That's your ATP right there. You got 500 little dots of ATP. ATP is good for about 20-30 seconds of energy. Just quick, boom, spurts of energy. And so what happens, it takes 3 minutes for your body to repair 100% of that ATP back. It takes 90 seconds to get 75% of that back. A little fun fact for you. And so what creatine does is it takes that cell that has those 500 ATP molecules and dumps about 5,000 of those things in that cell. So your recovery is a lot faster and you're not blowing through all that ATP as much. So in counteraction to that, what happens is A, you don't get tired so fast, and then B, you're getting a few more reps in than you normally would, so you're tearing down that muscle fiber a lot more. So that way, that's how you grow muscle. You have to tear the muscle fiber down, repair it with glutamine and proteins. And that's what creatine really does. It's not a steroid that all of a sudden you just inject and then your testosterone levels go up and all that stuff. It has nothing to do. It literally is just another source of energy through the muscle that's going to keep you, just basically having a better and prolonged workout. Have you gone through the keto flu?
In the beginning, I did a little bit. I'm not as bad as I hear some people go through it, but I think that's just lack of supplementation and proper knowledge on how to do it, because the way that I coach my clients, they almost have no symptoms going through it. So it's just the knowledge of what to do to avoid it. Basically, your electrolytes have to be balanced and proper supplementation and stuff.
Yeah, and with keto, when she said that your electrolytes have to be balanced, that's three components. It's your sodium, magnesium, and potassium. Most of the time, you're going to get most of your potassium through avocados that you eat. You're going to use pink Himalayan salt on a lot of your foods to get that sodium in. Magnesium's the hardest one to kind of get in through your foods, so I supplement that with a pill once a day. Is that what you do, or do you?
I supplement with natural calm every night before bed.
Oh, okay.
It's a powder you mix and drink. I love it.
Yeah.
It helps with anxiety. If anyone out there has anxiety, it helps you sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Have you tried all three styles of keto?
Now, I was a little confused with this question.
Okay.
Explain a little bit more about it to me.
Okay. All right. So you have your SKD.
Okay.
That's your strict keto diet.
Okay.
So that's like the one that we've been talking about right here.
Right.
Where you're, 75 fats, 30 proteins, and the rest are 25 proteins. However that's the other thing. You kind of vary your macros. So you might start at 75 fat, but eventually drop it down to 60 as you start to become more fat adapted. Which that's another thing I want to talk about, fat adapted. But, so you have your SKD, then you have your TKD, which that's targeted keto diet. So targeted is where I'm at now, where I take in 40 grams of carbs right before my workout.
Okay.
And that is to help with more muscle growth. Because as you're in that workout, it does kick you out of ketosis through that time that you're in that workout, but it's just still a small enough amount, and it's fast-acting glucose that you take, that it burns really fast, and you jump back into ketosis fairly quick after the workout. And that helps with your insulin levels to push up so that way you can build more muscle.
Okay.
But again, you can't do that until you've already been in SKD for a good 3-4 months, so that you're really truly fat adapted, that your body can make that change fast.
Right.
And then the other one is CKD, cyclical keto diet. This one I was going to play with, but I've gotten nervous. I know some other people that do it, but what that means is, and it varies between 1 time or 2 times a week, or 1 time every 2 weeks, just kind of depends on how your body responds. You have one day where you have like 400 to 600 grams of carbs. Now, the guys that are doing that are doing keto, are the guys that are like the big bodybuilders.
Right.
Like, not the physique guys so much, but that next level bodybuilder. Those are the guys that are having more of the higher carb days. But once again, you have to be fat adapted to get into that. How do you test to know if you're in ketosis, or how do you have your clients test for that?
I don't test, and I don't recommend testing.
Okay, explain.
I just think it's something else to be obsessed over, basically.
Yeah.
Unless you have a medical condition, I don't necessarily believe you should be testing your blood all the time. The urine strips, I'm sure you know they're irrelevant after a couple weeks.
Yep.
And again, oh my God, if it's not dark enough, I'm freaking out. Call it, I just don't agree with it. It's a feeling. You will immediately know when you're in ketosis. It will happen within a couple days if you're eating keto and proper macros. The only reason you're not going to be in there is like your client, if they're having food they're not supposed to be, or the ratios are off.
Yeah.
You're not having enough.
the strips that you're talking about, those peach strips, I literally, one of the clients I had just before you came in today, she was like, oh, well, I've got the strips, I'll just check it that way. And I was like, at the beginning you can kind of use them, but it's just a waste. And the reason why is if you're really dehydrated, those strips will go really, really dark and make you think, oh, wow, I'm in ketosis, I'm good to go. Then on the flip side, if you've been drinking enough water, like you're supposed to, at least half your body weight in ounces minimum, then you'll show really, really light, and that's because you've just dehydrated or diluted all those ketones in your urine, and it looks like you're not even in ketosis. So I mean, what I tell people, okay, if you're like, hey, I'm going to test in the middle, a little bit of pink, maybe that probably tells you, hey, you're in ketosis. I do check blood, but I don't do it, like I'm not a person that's like every week or every day or something. It's like once, twice a month I check them.
So a lot of the people I work with, they're like on weigh every day, and it's just something else to obsess over. So that's why I just don't recommend it.
Yeah, no, I just do it, and I do it also because I like my levels to be between a 1 to a 1.5 on millimolars on the ketones, because anything higher than that tells me that I'm not working hard enough in the gym.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That's honestly the reason why I do it. Because I already know my blood sugar is going to be fine. I'm not having anything bad, so that's always fine. But if I see, if I'm not at least a 0.6 or higher, then I'm not in ketosis. But I like to stay within that 1.0 to 1.5, and that says, okay, you're in ketosis, your body's doing good, you're working out hard enough, you get enough activity, you're burning those ketones that your body is producing. But if you're up in the 3s, 4s, then I'm saying, okay, you need to start getting out, at least walking more or something. If you're that person out there that has high ketone levels, that just means that you got the opportunity right now. Use that, burn that, and then you'll be able to burn your body fat a lot more.
Oh yeah.
So, are there any type of foods that you miss?
You're gonna think this is gross.
Oh no.
I miss my fast food of choice was Taco Bell. It's so bad.
Hey, actually, that was on my What the Fitness last week. Taco Bell was voted last year the healthiest fast food restaurant.
What?
It was.
Wow.
They actually have a nutritionist, believe it or not, and she came in and changed everything. And a lot of their meat now is grass-fed meat.
Wow.
I can't remember. They had a list of the things that this lady came in and changed, and then also now they have the fresh menu, and they have a protein bowl and stuff like that. So it actually has gotten better. I won't say go do it if you're on keto, but they have stepped their game up about that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
One more. Sorry.
Yeah. Skittles.
I cannot recreate those. I can recreate almost anything that I want from before, but I cannot recreate Skittles.
And that's something I want to touch on right there is and that's why I asked, is there anything that you're missing? Because a lot of my clients, that's the first thing when I tell them, okay, I want you to start eating like this, then they're like, oh, well, wait, I can't have this, I can't have cheesecake, I can't have, whatever, all their favorite little desserts or pizza and stuff. So, I mean, I think that's the only way you're going to be successful at it is you have to go out there and research and test and play with certain things and different recipes for you because actually keto is more of a lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
It's not just, hey, this is a diet, you're only going to do it for a little bit because, hey, just like anything, if you just go back to those old damn ways, you're just going to blossom right back up.
That's right.
But this is one that is a true lifestyle that is absolutely healthy. People say, Cody, why is it healthy? One of the other main components of why is because you're getting good fatty acids that are muscle-sparing fatty acids that don't burn muscle. You actually save your muscle versus another diets out there, you burn muscle as well as you're losing. This one, you don't lose muscle. It spares that because of the fatty acids, amino acids and stuff. So what have you recreated that you like?
I can make a cheesecake that you wouldn't even know is keto.
Yeah.
I'm currently on a new business venture of a sweets company, and we're working on donuts and all kind of sweets things. I make some delicious keto donuts last night. I can make brownies, peanut butter bars. Oh my goodness. I made a really good chicken crust pizza.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you said cauliflower crust, and I'm not the biggest fan of the fat head though. I
Oh,
can
you
never
don't?
get it right, but
Oh.
the chicken crust pizza is amazing.
Did you start off at the beginning? I did, and now I don't do it as much. I still will every once in a while, but do you, A, do you drink coffee, and then B, did you do the bulletproof coffee?
I do drink coffee every day. I drank bulletproof coffee for about a little over a year until I started getting into competing.
Yeah.
Basically, and that slowly, what I put in there changed a lot. I still put MCT on my coffee. I don't do heavy cream or butter anymore. But that just because my ratios went down, I don't need it in that source because I'm getting it like that from somewhere else. But I do recommend it for all my clients pretty much starting out. It's also a good way, it's so satiating.
Yeah.
So it tides people over for like a long time, and it's a good dose of fat. For everyone's like, where do you get your fat? Well, I'm like, here you go. Here's a big dose.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'm not against it at all.
yeah, a typical bulletproof coffee, and if you're wondering what that is, it's a tablespoon of grass-fed butter and a tablespoon of MCT oil. And that's usually about 25 net carbs. 25 net carbs. 25 grams of fat. Yeah, if it's 25 net carbs, no, it's zero carbs, but it's gives you 25 grams of good fat right there that a lot of people do start their day with. Now let's talk about starting your day. Like I said earlier, I'm a big believer in the fasting part of it. My reasons for fasting aren't because I'm trying to cut calories or anything like that. Still want to eat your recommended amount of calories through there. But it's because science has shown that it raises your human growth hormone, your HGH hormones. And so after 4 days of giving at least a minimum 12-hour fast, a true fast, meaning even if you can have water, tea, and coffee, but nothing in those things, just do a true fast, that after 4 days you can raise your human growth hormone 300%. After 7 days, 1,500%. And so that's part of the reason. That's why, and I played with that, and I didn't believe that. Because back in the old day, I was eating 5,500 calories a day, working out 3.5 hours. I was, just trying to get big and everything. And for the last 6 months, I've only eaten 18 to 2,000 calories a day. Fast, minimum of 12. Normally get about 13 and a half hours of fasting in. And I work out an hour and a half, hour and 45 at max on 1 day a week. But an hour and a half, 5 days a week. And I've gained just as much size, just as much muscle and I got all my numbers from back then, and I've already crushed all those numbers at 2,000 calories, which if you had told me that 7 years ago, what? No, that's not even possible. So it's crazy. So do you try to encourage intermittent fasting, or?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
Okay.
For the first, in my weight loss phase, I did 16-8 every single day.
Okay.
Now it's a little, I try to spread out my protein in my meals a little bit more. It's more like 12 hours. It's not really fasting. It's just when I sleep. I usually try to cut off the eating by 8, and first meal is generally around 10:30. So. But I do recommend it, but I don't force it. So I want it to come to my clients naturally. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I want them to be like, oh, Ciara, I wasn't that hungry. And I'm like, okay, don't eat.
Yeah.
If you're not hungry, don't eat.
I'm sorry. Also, I've tried to go live on Instagram. For some reason, it's not getting. I don't know what. Something's going on with the connection. I don't know. Are you live? No. I don't know if you want to. If there's anybody that want to ask questions. I see right now. We are over. Gosh, I could go long on this. I got tons of different questions for you, but dang, I wish we had more time. I definitely. I probably got a good another hour to talk about even more things in depth about keto. But tell everybody how they can find you, how they can get in contact, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm basically, my main platform is Instagram. find me at Keto Goddess Mama. Just send me a message. I'm super involved on there. I like to be in touch with everyone. Would love to chat with anyone about any questions. So
Awesome. And then you do both in-person and online personal training.
right. And my email is sculptandshinefit@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
I wish we had more time. I know you got to go and pick up the little ones. So thank you again. And until next time, everybody out there, keep repping and flexing. We'll see you next week.